Hi lovelies, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if it's your first time. Thank you for dropping by and joining me for this video today. I've got a very simple pocket idea that is using large pages. They can be music sheet pages, they can be, like as you can see, I've got the cover of a music book here. They can be large book pages, about, around this size, or large letters, or you can use digitals as well. And around about, I haven't got my ruler on me, which is really silly, but that's okay. So around about the size of a large letter, A4 size ish, or maybe a little bit wider. You could use 12 by 12. You probably wouldn't need the height though, for this. You definitely won't need the height because most people don't make journals the height that are like 12 inches. So, apart from that, if you want to, you can stencil yours. I've done mine with modelling paste. You could stencil with distress oxide if you wanted to, or you could embellish the top with embossed papers, or some printed digital paper that's is a good contrast to the page that you're working on. I've also got book pages. I'm going to need those for a part of this project. I've got various types of digitals, and they're all small to medium. They can only really be small because you're not going to need them any wider than that. And I've got some of my wallpaper. If you don't have wallpaper, and you could use again pretty printed digital paper that you might have, or pretty book pages that you've come across. I've also got some ribbon for embellishing, and perhaps some lace, but I'm not putting, only for the tie. I'm only using the lace in the tie of a tag. Okay, so now, and paper clips. You're going to need paper clips as well. Glue stick, and a stronger glue, like a craft glue, art glitter glue. I'm still using this one, which is for fabric as well as papers and stuff. So just a strong glue and a glue stick. Okay, so this is fairly easy. The pages that you're going to be needing, they need to be reasonably strong so that they're not going to crack when you fold them and like fall apart and what have you. You don't want fragile paper for this particular job. You also don't want it too thin, like newsprint thin. I've actually got these ones I've done on. This is from a very old girls' annual. So the paper was very thin, and but I've combat that because I've backed all mine with tea-dyed paper so that it can be written on. You don't need to do this if you don't want to. I just thought that it creates a hidden journal spot. So if you don't want to use up your tea-dyed paper, you could use a nice digital that is light in colour. The print on it is fairly light, not overly busy. Or you could yeah, use any other like blank paper. The only one I didn't cover the back of was the music book cover, because there's plenty of journal space around that text. So I've used modelling paste on all mine. I did this last night. I glued all the backing pages on last night. So I've semi-prepared this little task, and there's the other one. So whether or not I get all these done in this video, I don't know, but let's make a start. I hope that you decide that you're going to do this with me. This is not my idea. This is a ruby and pearl idea. Heather did these about 3 years ago or so, I think. And then Heather at Rosehill Paper Cottage also did them. And I've seen them on both channels. I saw the ruby and pearl video a long while back, and I wanted to do these then. And then only the other day I saw Rosehill Paper Cottage had done these as well, so it reminded me. And come to think of it, I think Rachel at Roxy Creations has done these as well, so I'm not sure. So you need to fold your paper lengthwise, and not all the way, just leave, I reckon that's about 1 inch. All right, and then fold that inch in. I have to try and remember to make sure I'm on the screen. Yes, I am. All right, and then this one at the bottom here, you fold it up. I reckon that's about 3 or 4 inches. So it's around about 1/4 of the paper up. And then you open it out and put that, close that in there like that. You don't, I'm not gluing this together because I want people to be able to open it and use the inside. And then this is up like that. And I still don't know where my bone folder is. So just burnish all those. This is the point where you want to go and ink. So I don't normally do inking, but lately I have got back into the habit of inking. So I'm just using Vintage Photo. I shouldn't need to do too much on this music book because it is already old. So I'm just inking all my crease, all my folds, and a little bit around the edge. How has everyone been? I hope you've been well. I've been busily working in the background on different bits and pieces, mainly doing some sort of admin type stuff. Yeah. how's that looking? I think that is looking good, except for this bit. And then what I do is I distress the this a little bit, and fold this down a little bit, just gives a bit of interest. And then I'll ink those creases. And I'm not gluing here, because if I glue there, then they won't be able to, the person won't be able to open that. All right, so that part is done. So, and then I'm just going to get a paper clip, and I still haven't aged these because I don't have the right colour ink, and I haven't bothered to try and make up a rustic brown. So I will eventually do that. Okay, so that's done. That part's done. So the next part is we need to make a tag. And for that, I'm using some of my glue pages, because my glue pages, I don't, I only do like one lot of gluing usually on them, maybe two. But they don't have lots of globs of glue. And the part that you, like this here, I can see the dried glue snail trails on here. That's what it looks like, snail trails. So that's the part that I would cover up in some way. This side is fine, but I mean, in saying that, I mean, it's all going to get covered. This side I will use for the writing side. I'll put some paper on there for writing on. And so for here, now how do I want to do this? This is, you need to have at least one folded so that you can work out the size of your little tags. Now I don't want to have it, I don't want to cover up all this. I want to be able to see as much of it as possible. So I'm just going to fold that in there like that. And now that's a better size. That's a size that I like. Okay. All right. So maybe I might just come on, fold in place in the right spot. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to glue, I'm going to use that whole page as part of my tag, so I'm going to glue that just with a glue stick. Now, and I'm nearly out of this one. This one's almost done. So has everyone been busy? Have you been busy crafting, or has life got in the way? Life usually gets in my way too. It's so annoying. You know, I just wish that I could just craft to my heart's content, which I should be able to do. I don't work. I live at home on my own. You know, there's no excuse really. but I'm probably my biggest problem. Can't get out of my own way. Okay, so I have one tag. Now, on there, I've got a variety of papers here that I have got for embellishing, and I've also got papers here for another project, so I better not get them mixed up. I'm going to put some of this embossed paper that I did a while back, and then I went over it with metallic watercolour paints. So I think I'm going to make use of these little holes here. Just a little bit more, just a wee bit. I still haven't heard from my real estate agent. I'm so annoyed. Did I say it? Have I mentioned about this? I don't know if I have. Probably I haven't. I was supposed to have a... now, which side do I like the most? If I take that off, it's a straight edge. I don't want a straight edge. I was supposed to have an inspection like a few weeks back now, well before Easter, and I didn't hear from the agent, and I thought, well, maybe they forgot to email me. So I rang them, and they said they didn't give me any real details apart from the fact that it had to be postponed for a couple of weeks, and that they would get back to me. And I still hadn't heard anything. Easter come along and it's gone, and still no word. And I bumped into one of my neighbours, and I asked her if she had heard, and she said no, and she was really annoyed with them because she's got a few repairs that need doing, and she managed to get a hold of them very briefly, and she said that the lady was really rude to her. And I thought, oh, that's not good. And so I'm just using a piece of this blank book page. Well, it's relatively blank. I'm going to use that for the backing. And yeah, so she hadn't heard, and her repairs, she's still waiting for those to be done. And yeah, so it's not good. And I said, oh, well, my intuition tells me that something's up. And I said, giving them the benefit of the doubt, you know, perhaps one of them is sick and they can't get anyone else to do it, or, you know, maybe the people are on holidays, or I don't know. And I said, but I'm more inclined to think that the agent is changing hands. And she's like, no, not again. And I said, yeah, again. I said, hopefully they don't want to, you know, hopefully they get, you know, someone who is better than what these people are. And hopefully the agent, the landlord doesn't want to sell. That was the other thing that was a bit of a worry. I'm just going to fold that over and glue that down. So, fun and games in the rental space at the moment. Right, let's get rid of this glue stick. I'm keeping these ones that are you can't get any more out of, but there's still glue in there, because when I'm in the craft room on my own and I'm not doing a video, I can dig that out with a spatula. Waste not, want not, and all that. Okay, so it's a piece of book page. I can go up in there. Okay. Got this nice scruffy edge on the bottom here, which I like. Now on here, I'm going to put something like this. I've got all these ladies that I haven't really done much with, and maybe I can put that on one. And here's another one. Okay. So I'm going to put that on there. I'm not going too overboard on these tags. Here we go. That's that. And then paper clip. I'm just going to rip into this lace. pop that on this paper clip. With my fat little fingers that like to get in the way. Just like that. And then that goes on there like so, but not right up there. Oh, come on. It just clips to the front section of this folded paper, and then in there you could put a small tag, and do I have any tickets in there? No, I don't. But I do have tickets up in here. Like that. You could do that. All right. So now for the next part, these are fairly quick to do. You need the, I need bigger book pages, which I've got here. Not that one, because it's all damaged. And again, I need to work out where I'm folding it. So I need it to be narrower than the actual document or book page or whatever it is that you've used. All right, and I'm going to glue that down. Like that. And I'm going to have to take that bit off. I think it'll be better if I put a crease in it first. Too worried about scruffy edges. Okay, and now I just want to before I go wasting my tea-dyed paper, I want to work out my height. Now I can have it that tall, which probably would be okay. But I might just take a little bit off the top. Right, and I'm going to cover the back with some tea-dyed paper. So yeah, you could do these with large letters, large documents. If you've got some vintage or antique ledger paper that's not thin, you know, the thicker variety, you could use that. Music sheets, if it's not too brittle. Some music sheets are a bit brittle. Okay. And I'm just going to do it that way. And same with this one. Now I could leave that on as extra journal space, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to tear it off. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to put some of my wallpaper on here. I've got a piece here, which I might use this piece first. Yep, I'm going to do that. Okay. I always find the wallpaper you need extra glue stick application because, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to stick as good. Okay, and I'm going to put a flower on there. Not liking it, this tool. Just going to put that one on there. Oops. So the tags and and like both tags, I'm not doing a huge amount to. I'm just keeping it fairly simple. I find that I end up, when I'm making tags or cards, I end up putting so much into it, you know, like sometimes a tag or a card just needs to be basic, you know. So I might stick a label up there. Just like that. Or I like that. I like that one better. I think these are stickers actually. Oh, come on. And I'm going to ink around the edges. I might, before I go too far, snip the bottom corners. And I'm going to put a hole in the top. Oh, it's not a big enough hole. Oh my goodness. That's a hole. Here's my, and I'm using, I've been having hassles with my crocodile, so I'm not using it at the moment. And I'm just going, no, I might put it on the actual reinforcer. just want to make sure that it is going to stay in place. There we go. And one for the back. Oh, it's so much stuff I've got to do. Yeah, probably won't. I think I'm going to do one more video after I've done this one, and I'm going to schedule it for later in the week. I've got so much I need to do further, not just the journals, but painting, and it's all behind the scenes stuff. I don't really, it's, you know, boring sort of stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to put I think I'm going to put some ribbon. Ribbon look good on this. Maybe not this one. I haven't got any other. I've got other ribbon, but I have to iron it. It is so crinkled that you can't, you know, you just really can't sort of see it. Okay. Yeah, rightio. So to the two Heathers, Ruby and Pearl and Rose Hill Paper Cottage, thank you so much for such a great idea, for doing your videos and putting them out there, because I do love this idea. Oh, come on. Jen. Get it together. Oh. There. That'll do. And then that slots in there like that. Oh, that's cute. I like it. Okay, let's do another one. And do one of these, but this one I have to trim parts of it up. Now, I'm going to fold this in this way, about like so, and I'm going to fold this to there like that. And just open it back up again and fold some up. All right. So I am back with all these done. I've inked around them all and roughed them up a little bit. So, and I've put the paper clips on the bottom to hold that in place. And so now we're ready to go with the next bit, which for that I have already prepared or semi-prepared the small tags. So now I'm going to again I'm going to put you on fast forward because this video has taken me ages. I have looked at the first section and it's already, there's already quite a lot on there. So yes, so I'm gonna just times this up by 2%, like, you know, 2 times. Excuse me, sorry. I'll see how that goes. If I have to make it a little bit faster, I will, but I'm only doing tags here, so it's not like anything seriously difficult to follow or anything like that. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So it's so good making these. Although I didn't realise just how little I had for making these tags, and how limited I felt. I just found it difficult creating variety, I guess, and having them, while I wanted them to be simple, I found it really difficult getting past the fact that they were just simple, not much to them, and no, they don't look that good. And I mean, they do, they look fine. It's just not, I'm not used to how I make tags and journal cards, so I guess I'll just have to get past that. these page pocket, I'm not really sure what I'm going to call them, but they're really quite cool for pockets. I'd probably be inclined to put mine in the inside front or back cover. Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's just what it is, and the size of it, and that. Yeah, I would probably leave it to either of those places in a journal. These ones are probably too tall for a A5, but I I should have measured it up against an A5 journal. But in saying that, to make it shorter, you just need to refold the bottom to make that fold a deeper fold, and then the length of it will be shorter, of course. So yeah, no big deal. I do on occasion make a taller journal, so tall and skinny journal, probably these would fit just nicely in. So yeah. I'd have to, when I get a new collection of paper and bits and pieces, I'll have to try these out again and just sort of see how they turn out, and that, because these are quite nifty little journal spots and tag pockets. So I'm trying to decide whether the next video will be what's in my box, because I really do have a need for tags. Because I thought if I had plenty of tags that could be used for anything, I could have used those instead of making them, and the video wouldn't have been so long. So that's what I'm thinking of doing, what's in my box. Although in saying that, my next video, apart from what's in my box, is a tag one, a new tag-ish. Coming to the end, I think. A little bit further on, when I put the purple velvet on the card for the tag for the one that I used it on the paperclip before. Sorry, I couldn't think of my words then. Yeah, I really didn't like it. I think I do say on the video that I really didn't like it because it's pan velvet, so when you cut it, it tends to roll, and that's pretty hand-dyed bias binding that I had or seam binding, or whatever you call it, that I had in the Happy Mail the other day. That wasn't near me, so I couldn't get a hold of it. Unfortunately, I didn't plan on doing a gypsy type tag. I'm going to make this one my last one because this video is huge. So I'd like to thank you for coming along. And if you've stayed to this long to watch this video, thank you so much. It is really appreciated that you have supported the channel in that way. Yeah, I can't begin to express just how much I appreciate it. Oh, God. Okay, now what will I put on this one? I think I'm just going to put a flower. I have got some beautiful flowers cut. I did loads of fussy cutting a while back, but they're mostly very small. That one, oh, that one. I think I'm going to put this one on it there. I don't like this in here, but I haven't got anything else at hand at the moment, so this will have to do. It's all curling and that, and it's just not the best. So I'll find something else to go in there that will be okay for this, and I will replace it. Anyway, I could only get 3 done. I'm sorry about that, but this video was taking ages. So those 3 got done, and these 3 I will put in my to-do box to finish them off at some point. So yeah, I love them. Thanks for coming by and staying for the duration. Peaceful blessings, everybody. Bye for now.